Yeah. For real, for real. My is real, for real. I'm in the field, for real. I'm about my check, for real. I'm about my respect.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in on a one-game winning streak. What do you say we keep that one positive? Because they haven't had much to be positive about lately.
Yeah, let's take it, maybe make it almost like the theater. You're only as good as your last performance. Hopefully they can continue to move forward.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And last week's win was indicative of how good this team can be. It was a complete performance.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Stafford on first down. And his first pass is incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up second down.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he'll get this one up to the 26. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing to Stafford. This one complete to Theo Riddick. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and also a first down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Give the tackle there to Keon Crossan.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Here's Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed. But they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
You have to give big-time credit to the cornerback on that play. Most of them like to just sit back and say, I'm playing pass. But he diagnosed that play so fast and got into the backfield for a loss of yardage. That's a monster play by a corner.
All right, now look at 56.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. We're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable 3rd down receiver.
Jackson to throw on 2nd down. Going deep. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
And Detroit getting set to go now. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change at quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
To throw on 2nd down to Stafford. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. It's a close game here early on. We're back to the Motor City after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. From the gun, here's Stafford. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice and meetings talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
That's a lot of beef thundering downfield off of the toss play, and it takes me back to when I was a kid and watching USC play. Remember the old toss that they ran? They used to call student body right or student body left because everyone was out in front of the ball carrier. In fact, one of their favorite plays, it was called rose stem right or rose stem left, depending on the formation. 28 toss. And 28 toss was their bread and butter.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage with a flag down here to boot.
Holding.
So they may back up further. So this will be accepted as he moves the offense backwards. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Watch it now, Barney.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Jackson on 2nd down. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
But this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. It's complete to Golden Tate. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. First catch so far for Tate, and he's got a first down. A first down carry here for Johnson. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Lions on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And Tate's got it. And bulldozing his way through. The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. From the red zone now, Stafford. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Well, that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Bryant's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That good for 22 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. On 2nd down, Cook. And some space here. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs?
That's a pretty good recipe for success. The pitch goes to Barkley. And they'll get him down right about the 20. The cornerback, it's Logan Ryan who brings him down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And now Jackson will look to throw it. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Jackson. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. In for the score. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Carlson now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
They'll run it with West. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings. We now proceed to the start of the 2nd half. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the 2nd half. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the 2nd half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the 2nd half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They pitch it out to Cook. And some room to work. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain,
Still
but all
second
for
down.
naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Cook following the penalty. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On third down, Barkley. He spins free. And a great move again. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 13 and also a first down.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Patriot!
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Jackson now. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Paul Richardson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Carlson now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Flag down. This could set him back.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. And that often runs you into a penalty.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Set. 180.
On first down, Stafford here. Dumping it off for Johnson. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Set. Blue 60.
To throw is Stafford. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Set. 180.
On 3rd down, Stafford. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
he wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. It's taken to the 26. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking, weaving through traffic, and now he's free. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
Set, lady.
On second down, Johnson. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Set, 180.
3rd and long. It's Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's Sam Martin now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Fielded just inside the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. A boost here to start the drive after the penalty. It's 1st and 5. toss out to Barkley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it again with Barkley. There he goes inside the 30. That good for 22 and a first down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. 4 down. Check. No. Check. Patriot.
A toss to Cook. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Again, it's Cook. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. Cook stripped. The ball's out, and the Lions have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Back to throw, Stafford.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. On 2nd and 10, Stafford to the right and complete to Galladay. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Sam Martin now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And it's a fumble. And the Lions have recovered.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Following the fumble recovery, Stafford underneath for Johnson. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. It's caught. Jones. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down. Well, Stafford. Allen's got it over the middle. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. On 1st and 10, Stafford. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Danielle Hunter in there to get him. And that's sack number 18 for him on the year. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. And to the right side here, it's Allen. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
To throw on 3rd down, Stafford. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And, partner, I know hindsight's always 20/20, but, man, just in general, those laterals, they can be so risky, and we see the risk that can be involved right there.
And you just have to know, and we've seen it because we've been in a lot of practices. It's not something that's practiced very often. You know, in that situation, you don't see guys really working on it. Maybe like we're bringing the rugby guys in to help us with tackling, maybe we ask them to help us with the laterals as well and make that a better play.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved.
False start, offense.
You expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Danielle Hunter in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. From the gun, here's Stafford, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Eric Kendricks in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tease Tabor. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. He'll get this one to Galladay, and he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for the Vikings, the win form is number 6 on the year, and they will head home next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they dropped their 10th game now to fall to 4-10, and they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon